Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Steve with Real Progressives. I am on Indian Head Highway, heading into the nation's capital. Be spending the day on Capitol Hill, covering an economic forum where Stephanie Kelton and Paulina Trineva will be speaking, two of my favorite economic minds. And hopefully we'll be able to get an interview or two with them. If not, you'll be getting live coverage of the actual symposium. It begins around 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time and goes on through till, I believe it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. In any event, I doubt anybody else is going to be covering this. It may be Nerdistville. That's okay. I'm a special kind of nerd, folks. But my guess is that the more you pay attention to this stuff, the more the light bulbs will go off and the more useful you'll be to the conversation when people are trying to, shoot down or build up an idea. You'll at least have the foundation to begin understanding why something is, in fact, a bad idea. And, when something's not a bad idea, learn to accept yes. Don't talk past the close, right? In any event, I love DC. This is where I'm from. So this is a great opportunity to see my mom last night. And I'm going to be meeting up with another real progressive who will be making her debut in the next day or two, Kim Lowe. Kim and I go all the way back to the People's Convention. She was the first person to greet me there in Philly. I had never met her before, but she had seen Real Progressives leading up to the event. And she immediately knew who I was, and she came rushing up to me. And so imagine all these months later, after her own personal campaign came to a close, that she'll now be joining us, helping us out with the education pillar. In any event, one of the neat things about Kim that I think is worth noting, over the course of, months, she's taken a real liking to modern monetary theory and has been one of the more apt pupils, doing the reading, looking at the links, figuring out stuff on her own, and then in turn teaching that in rural Virginia. Folks, rural Virginia. She has made a point of being able to broach the subject with people that are not just progressive friendlies. Now, one of the things that I want to bring to mind, and I'll probably stream about this later, Donald Trump is proposing an outrageous amount of spending. I posted an article, I don't know if it's gone up yet, it's scheduled sometime today. I think it's Truth Dig or Truth Out, one or the other. And they're talking about what to expect in a Donald Trump economic environment. And I was about ready to panic because, let's be fair. You think that Republicans are the ones that are going to cut spending. And lo and behold, the first thing these bozos said, and I almost cried, was he's going to raise the debt and he's going to raise the deficits. And I was like, yeah, what the heck, man? Who is this guy? Why is he a racist son of a bitch? Why is he a xenophobe? Because thank God somebody is going to spend on infrastructure. Thank God somebody is going to spend on these things. Now, I will be the first one to knock the taste out of his mouth if he says something bigoted. But I'm telling you all, this is an intellectual revolution. Learn to accept yes when yes is offered. If he's going to spend, I'm going to support that. Now, the flip side is this. The priorities of that spending, right? Remember how I told you MMT works for Republicans, it works for Democrats, it works for progressives. So we got to see what kind of priorities these people put there and how much pressure Democrats can put to bear as you're writing these bills. It's one thing to have majority in the House, it's one thing to have a majority in the Senate. But the question is, will the Democrats obstruct things they shouldn't obstruct while at the same time, focusing all of our eyes on things that are not relevant? That's my question for you, because I am all about getting our economy back on fire, and the Democrats should play a huge part in setting the priorities. And Greens and all of us independents out here that are actually paying attention and understand good economics, we need to make sure that we don't get caught up in just hating something without inspecting it. There's an old saying I learned in AA, never have contempt prior to investigation. So we need to make sure that we know what exactly it is that we're fighting for and what exactly we are fighting against. Otherwise, we may just screw ourselves, and that would be a terrible thing. In any event, I am going to go ahead and sign off here. I will be covering, like I said, all day. I'm looking forward to questions. If you guys don't know something, ask questions in these streams. We'll try and round them up. We'll try and get you answers. Again, Stephanie Kelton, when I tweeted back and forth with her, she said that she would, I said, hey, hopefully I can get to interview you. She gave me the old thumbs up. They're not big on words. They give you the short answers. Yes, no, whatever. But I just take a positive acknowledgement like Super Bowl, right? Super Bowl, baby. But anyway, she said, with the thumbs up, so I'm going to hope that I can pull that off. I can't imagine this is going to be like, watching a U2 concert where everybody's rushing the stage for Bono or whatever. So I'm guessing that I'll be able to have some entree there. And hopefully I'll be able to ask the right questions if I get that shot. In any event, y'all have a good day. Tune in to us throughout the day. Hopefully we have some really cool stuff for you that you're not going to find anywhere else. Let's be fair, none of the other pages, none of the other pundits, none of the other people really have a clue about economics. So we're trying to give you the one place that does, and that's us. And I take some pride in that, I'm not going to lie. All right, folks, we need to change that, though. I need you guys to start learning. I need new disciples, people that really want to learn this stuff, because we got to spread it much further than our little echo chamber. Anyway, this is Steve with Real Progressives, wishing you guys a fantabulous day and hoping you'll tune in throughout the day. Talk to you later.